welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me today is Boria Mujumdar and Debashi Sen. Today we're going to talk about Neeraj bagging another silver at Lausanne Diamond League after Paris Olympics. We'll also build up to the Paralympics, and of course, we'll talk about the newly released India versus England Test Series schedule that is to be held starting June 2025. Boria, over to you first. Back-to-back silvers for Neeraj Chopra. When you watched him last night, what was your impression of India's golden boy?
First thing, Gargi, in diamond leagues there is no gold and silver, so we should sort of be
Second
clear
place.
about that. It was a second place finish. So before anyone sort of jumps in and says, "Arey, what are you talking about silver, etc." No, we are actually meaning a second place finish. There is no gold, there is no silver in a diamond league. But yesterday several things stood out. If you see that throw, and then if you see that 19-20 second clip that is being circulated on social media, you will know. And Rohan has also joined in from Paris. He reported on that Neeraj Chopra throw. I mean, for me, what stood out after that throw was the way Neeraj reacted. You hardly see him react like that, because you can understand that it was a lot of pent up energy, and it meant the world to him, Neeraj Chopra, after that throw. And you could also see Anderson Peters smiling, because those two are good friends. From the age of 16, Rohan actually asked that question of Anderson Peters during the Olympics also. They have been competing from the age of 16, and 90.61 for Anderson Peters, 89.49 for Neeraj. In 16 days, the man has thrown 1834, 8934, 8945, 8949. Incredible consistency rather. This is the kind of consistency that I have not seen any Indian athlete. He's once again in the DL final, clearly on the 14th of September in Brussels, because there is one more competition where there is javelin, which is Zurich on the 4th of September. He'll definitely make the DL final. So 22 champion, 23 runner up, 24 finalist. If this is not consistency, this guy is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
Rohan, you were there. You watched Neeraj throw his season's best last night. Tell us about your experience, and of course, what did you think of Neeraj?
Well, actually, in the first three, four throws, we were actually concerned that he was throwing 83, 82. But then on the fifth one, we were talking. "Dani kidhar chali gayi?" Now, when we were talking among ourselves, me and Tushadi, we were like, Neeraj has done it in past that he has saved his best for the last two, three shots. In the fifth one, he has uh, got 85.58, secured that he gets the last one because he was in rank 4 behind the Ukrainian thrower. And then in the final one, 89.49. Unlucky, I would say unlucky for him, because in 1 month's time he threw 89 in both the competitions, but the first place player was so good that he missed out on the top finish. So unlucky for him. But the only one thing that is concerning, that after yesterday, how is his injury scare will be, and what is the update on that injury, because he will have much bigger tournaments also coming up. In 1.5 years time we have the Asian Games also, so that is one thing. But for now, hats off to Neeraj. What a consistency, day in and day out we have Neeraj Chopra finishing on the podium.
Absolutely. Songbi Datta Biswas is saying Neeraj Chopra should be named as Neeraj Consistent Chopra. The man has finished in top 3 of the last 25 events consecutively. Devashish, a word for Neeraj. Last night's performance, Paris, and of course, like Songbeat said, 25
Yeah,
events on the podium.
Unbelievable.
he has to be one of the best sports person from India, undoubtedly. Means irrespective of sports stars from other disciplines. The standard he has set,
Yes.
it means it will be very difficult to match. Means when you talk about a global sport, means obviously, and remember, means the consistency he has been showing day in and day out. Paris we saw, here at the Diamond League we saw, means obviously. But yes, when you look at his competitors, means touching that 90 meters spot, but then we have no complaints whatsoever. As long as he's delivering the goods for India, obviously 89.39, and to win that second spot means unbelievable. And Let's hope that he obviously there are talks that he might be having a surgery. Let's hope that he goes through that successfully and comes back strongly for the remaining events of the season.
Yes. Bori, I need you to put in perspective how monumental Neeraj Chopra's performances have been, because we're all on social media, so we come across these tweets and these posts saying that another, second place finish for Neeraj Chopra. But I think his standards are so high that people have forgotten that 25 points consecutively on the podium is not a small deal. You can't be disappointed with the second place finish. Buria?
When have you seen an Indian athlete be on the podium in a Diamond League? Have you ever seen? Before Neeraj? No. After Neeraj? No. You have not seen any Indian finish in the top three of Diamond League. Never. Never. When Avinash Sable made it to the Diamond League, we said this is a major breakthrough. When Murli
Yes.
Srishankar made it to the Diamond League, we said this is a major breakthrough. And this man has won the Diamond League title in 22, was runner up in 23, has made the finals in 24, or will make the finals in 24 as the top six world javelin throwers. I mean, he's won back to back consecutive medals. What do you mean, second position? What do you mean? I mean, come on. I mean, Neeraj Chopra is the greatest Indian athlete ever. This is Paris here. He could have easily said, I can't peak in 15 days. Arshad Nadim was not even there. He
Yeah.
could have said, I am coming back and done 1 million felicitation functions. He would have been rewarded with 50 crore rupees because silver is the highest medal that you've won. Every other medal is a bronze medal. So Neeraj Chopra could have come to India, done 50 felicitation functions and gone on a Bharat Darshan minting money. Instead, what he did within 2 days, he went back to Switzerland and started training despite a groin strain. Now, if this man is not a role model and an aspirational superstar, then I don't know who is. As I said, Neeraj Chopra is the greatest Indian athlete of all time. Period.
Absolutely.
Rohan, if I'm not wrong, we spoke on Archana Kamath yesterday, and there's a comment you're asking. Girish Ahire is asking, share your thoughts on Archana Kamath's retirement. I mean, because of not enough financial security, not enough support, there's still, there are still players who are immensely talented, immensely hardworking, and still have to quit their sport because there's not enough support.
Actually, Tishadi actually spoke to Archana yesterday. She also wrote a piece on that. It is not about the
Financial.
financial problem, because if you see, she is being sponsored, she is getting money. What we got to know from Archana is that she has an aspiration for academics. She wants to pursue academics. She has got a good university, good scholarship, and if you see that, it's her choice. Boryada might be uh, able to explain it in a better way, but it's not about financial problem. It is about her own choice of pursuing education, academics. She might also be continuing with sports in USA university, because uh, USA universities are very good at sports. If you see this year's Olympics also, only I think University of California or some university has had 25 athletes. So USA University sports is itself a huge thing. So we have to wait and watch what she does after that. But I don't think it is about financial problems.
Okay, then definitely there are some misleading headlines going around.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
Let me say
you,
this very categorically. In the US, if you play university sport, you will get enormous amount of mileage. By the way, I've taught in the US for several years. And if you go and watch D1, if you see the facilities, and by the way, with Vita Dani and these people now backing the UTT, Neeraj
yes,
Bajaj. So I was just missing the name. Neeraj Bajaj and Vita Dani backing the UTT. There is enough money. Archana
yeah,
Kamath did reasonably well at the Olympic Games. In fact, even that match against Germany, Archana Kamath was the only match that actually turned competitive for India in her singles. So she's a talented table tennis player. I think at her age, it's a decent call. You go to the United States, you can pursue your academia along with your sport. In the US, that is facilitated all the time.
yes,
All the time. You will see many D1 athletes making it to the US national team. The marriage of academia with sport is what makes UK sport, US sport, Canadian sport what it is. Unfortunately, in India, the first thing to say is, "Arey, paisa nahi hai, isliye ja rahe hain." Absolutely not. Somebody who is going to the US on a, for something like this comes from a relatively privileged background who has access to that circuit. This is not
Yes.
someone who has had no traction, no education, no exposure, nothing like that. So Archana Kamath has taken a career call. In the US, you can marry your sport. What about Tejashwin Shankar? He
Seriously,
was
Shankar,
working
yes.
in the US. He was doing his decathlon and his high jump. So Archana Kamath, Tejashwin Shankar is the best example to give in front of you. This is now a career path. I think many will choose this career path, academia and sport, opening up another career opportunity for her when she retires, for example. I think she's doing the absolute right thing.
Yes.
And if you can add to
Yeah.
that the cricket, you have someone like a Saurav Netravalkar.
Absolutely. Look at
And
Saurav
Saurav
Netravalkar.
Netravalkar, he went on to play for USA in the recently concluded T20 World Cup. So if you are good at sport, you can also make a career out of sport in the US. Means obviously,
And
particularly
he's a
with
great singer also.
Yeah,
So,
because in US D1 athletes get paid a huge amount of money and actually get a lot of sponsors, scholarships, etc. So it's a good call from Archana actually.
yeah.
Songbit is asking something in Bengali. I don't know.
বুড়িয়াটা যারা
বলে
বোঝে না
দাও যারা
তাদেরকে
বোঝে না তাদের
বলবো যে
কোশ্চেন করে
Yaku
দাও
and
ঠিক
Neeraj,
আছে আজকে।
technical thrower type consistent, whereas Nadim or Peters explosive thrower তাই unpredictable.
আনপ্রেডিক্টেবল
ম্যাক্সিমাম লোকেরা
ম্যাক্সিমাম
বোঝে না
লোকেরা বোঝে
90 মিটার
90
কাছে।
মিটার
90 মিটার কেঁদে কি হবে? 90 মিটার কেঁদে যদি সিলভারটা না আসতো, ফোর্থ হতো, কি হয় আসতো যেত ভাই? Point is not about 90 meters. Somebody who's getting to 89, 50 every second competition,
একদম
50 centimeters is this much. I mean, this much. It is what? Less than 2 feet. 50 centimeter is not even this much in my hand. So it is not something that Neeraj can't or Neeraj won't, Neeraj will. It is about the consistency where he's finishing. Arshad was
একদম
one free throw. It was explosive top part body power. And Shongbit is right. Neeraj and Yakub are technical throwers. Look at their body speed, look at their motion, the way they accelerate. And that is what was stopping Neeraj because he was not able to run in fast, build that momentum, then throw. If you see his follow through at the Olympic Games, if you see Arshad, it's all body power. How much does he run? 7, 8, 10 steps.
yes
Neeraj
yes
runs a whole 25, 30-meter stretch. So people are different. People are different. This guy is an incredible athlete. So celebrate that. I mean, if you cry with Neeraj Chopra, then I don't know what you will not cry with. Then you cry with everything. After the World Cup, you should go and say, why did Rohit Sharma and the Indian team not beat South Africa in over number 17? I will now cry because they won in over number 20. Then you can cry with anything. Then you can cry with anything. But I think there's a good comment. Boria, start Marathi Rev Sports with Gargi, Ishan, and Abhijit. Go for it, Gargi, Ishan, and Abhijit.
We have a full force now.
Actually, after Arshad Nadim's throw in the final, uh, in the mix zone, we asked him a question. पहला throw में क्या हुआ था? So that went really bad for Arshad. Arshad was like, मैं माहौल देख के इतना घबरा गया था कि राणा प्लेयर भूल गया, राणा मापना भूल गया.
Happens.
Yeah, he wanted land. His father-in-law gave him buffalo. No, this
Yeah.
is the most incredible story. He said, I thought I will get 5, 6 acres of land. मुझे तो buffalo दे दिया.
A good question from Kishu Patel. Who are the dark horses in this Paralympic for medals?
Ron, you want to go for it? Because you've been doing some really good Paralympic work. I obviously can, but why don't you start?
Dark horses, I would say, I don't know if dark horses, but yes, someone who will be looking is Mansi Yoshi because she has not got the chance in Tokyo. Unfortunate enough that her event was not there. She will be a great prospect for medals. Palak Kohli, a really talented young girl, 22 years of age. She has a great chance. We spoke to Sachin Khiladi, and he has been winning back-to-back goals in the World Championship, both in Paris and then in Kobe, Japan. So he is in good shape. He can be a good prospect for a medal. Sailesh is a good prospect. He had done 1.83 in the World Championships. So we do have, but because these are all players who have not Paralympics experience in past, so they will be the big names that who can win the medals for India, and they look very confident.
Kishu has asked why the PM didn't meet the Paralympians for a send off, and would PM call to each Paralympic? I mean, the English is a little problematic, but we get the point. Firstly, Narendra Modi interacted with every Paralympian. It is not as if every Paralympian is in Delhi. So they are in
Hmm.
different parts of the country, they're in different parts of the world training. So the Prime
Yes.
Minister did everything that you can ask of the Prime Minister. Let's be clear. I am no BJP, I am no Trinamool. I don't care. But when a Prime Minister is doing what he is doing under this Prime Minister, parasport has got enormous amount of traction. Number two, Prime Minister Modi did call every Paralympic athlete after Tokyo, and we all
Yeah.
remember that.
Yes.
And I'm sure, obviously, I am nobody to say, but I'm sure he will do the same the moment India wins medals at the Paralympic Games, because I've seen him do that with Olympic and Paralympic athletes in Tokyo. And this is something that the Prime Minister has consistently done. Will they get the same rewards? Absolutely, they will. Now, the government has made it a rule that Olympic and Paralympic rewards will be the same. They qualify for the Khel Ratna, they qualify for every other awards. Even states, take Odisha, they will give the same amount of money for Olympic and Paralympic. So this is one problem that India has now gone beyond. So I think this is not something we should be worried about. I think Rohan mentioned Palak. Rohan mentioned Palak. I think Palak and Suhas Yathiraj as a mixed doubles
Yeah.
combine will be
Yeah.
a dark horse for me. And that will be one heck of a medal if India manages to win. Suhas being who he is a role model. Palak being who she is, within a year, Gargi's age. Actually, I mean,
Yeah.
a little younger than Gargi. I don't want to talk about her age on air, but a little younger than Gargi. But Palak Kohli coming out of a bone tumor within 1 year, making it to the Paris Games, and then making a podium will be the most astounding story ever. So
Absolutely.
I will say Palak Kohli and Suhas Yathiraj, mixed doubles, my dark horse.
Buryada, one
I know
point to make.
one. Devashish is very happy. His Mohan was losing 0-1. Now they are up to 1.
আরে ইস্ট বেঙ্গলে কি হয়েছে কি জানি, ডুরান্ডে হেরে গেছে শিলংয়ে, যাই হোক।
তুই ছিলি না বল।
যাই হোক, মানে one point to make about this government support and all. I was speaking to Prachi Yadav, cano, para cano. So she told me one story that when she started canoeing, she did not have a cano, proper cano boat. So there were kayak boats in her academy, and she used bamboos to make a makeshift cano boat. So that's how she started her journey. And now she tells me that she has every possible facilities uh, to compete the sport in the international level. And now she takes the Paralympics as a responsibility on herself, that government has spent so much and there is so much support. Now if she doesn't win a medal, that she will be feel bad for the government. So now the support has been so much that the athletes have started that it is their responsibility to win a medal. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but this is what she has told me.
You know, we have many such stories. When I first spoke to Deepa Malik, and I know Deepa Malik from 2013, 12, she told me that when the Commonwealth Games ended in Delhi, the Commonwealth Games athletes were actually getting ready for Asian Games. Okay, the same, because within months
Hmm.
the Asian Games. So the able-bodied athletes, they were saying कि हम लोग यहाँ से कैंप में जाएंगे. So they said अच्छा तुम्हारा कैंप है. So Deepa said हम लोग भी कैंप में जाएंगे. So somebody came up to her and said, तुम लोग कैंप क्या कैंप? So she said parasport. She said तुम लोग पैराशूट से कूदोगे? She said क्या? So this was
What?
the understanding of parasport.
अरे बाप
कि
रे।
तुम पैराशूट से कूद जाओगे, कैसे कूद जाओगे? Deepa is chest down paralyzed. So at one point in time when she was training in Delhi, she would need someone to change her diaper. There was no one. There was no one. So she would have to wait the whole day despite passing, because there was no one to change diapers. This is India, boss. This is India. It is unbelievable. I mean, from where to where we have come, where to where we have come is an astounding story. Deepa tells me that after Tokyo, when she goes somewhere, people just move and says go. And she says, अभी ये सब जब देखता हूँ ना कि मेरे को देखकर बोलते हैं आप पहले आगे जाइए, and the respect that they show me, this is the journey that we have traveled.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
But
And By the way, it has not ended yet.
Yes, yes.
I actually want to see how many Indian media houses send their representatives to the Paralympics. You can send your people to Zimbabwe for a cricket tour. So don't tell me it's about money. It is not. Don't tell me you can send someone to Sri Lanka for a 20-day tour which is inconsequential and you can't send somebody to Paris. Don't tell me that. I won't buy that argument because I know this sports circuit very well. अगर आपको भेजना नहीं है वो आप बताओ बिकॉज आप बोलोगे एंड हम लोग जो भाषा यूज करते हैं ये तो लंगड़ा है वो तो हाथ नहीं है ये तो अंधा है आई मीन कम ऑन बॉस कम ऑन डिस्गस्टिंग सो आई एक्चुअली वांट टू सी हाउ मेनी इंडियन मीडिया हाउसेस सेंट देयर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स टू कवर द पेरिस पैरालंपिक गेम्स
Gagi, before you take, I just want to add one point to this media thing. When I spoke to Sukant Kadam and also Sachin Khiladi the day before, Sukant told me that बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है कि आप रुके हुए हो उधर पेरिस में हमारे लिए वेट कर रहे हो. And Sachin Khiladi was like, he told me that thank you आप जो कर रहे हो ये करते जाओ बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है. तो मैं उनको पहले थैंक यू बोला कि थैंक यू फॉर योर टाइम, थैंक यू फॉर द इनसाइट. उन्होंने मुझे वापस थैंक यू दे दिया कि आप लोग हमें कवरेज दे रहे हो इसलिए थैंक यू.
एब्सोल्युटली अरे आज आज नॉट अर्लियर आज मैं सुमा से बात कर रहा था. So I told Suma, I said, Suma, you coming to Paris again? Suma, she do. So I told Suma, you're coming because she's Avani's coach as well. She said, yes, I am.
Yeah.
I said, when are you coming? She said, 24th. 24th to the 6th. We are going on the 24th. I said, I'm also traveling tomorrow, 24th. Which flight are you on? She said, Air India. So Suma and Avani on Air India, and we were talking. He said, so you guys are doing para? I said, 5 of us. She was shocked. She said, what? This is incredible. I said, yes, because this is the point. When I spoke to Gaurav Khanna today, there is a send-off in Lucknow that the Sports Authority of India is organizing, which is why Gaurav was talking to me. This is what it is all about. I want to see this country progress. I'm sure Border Gavaskar Trophy, somebody's mother and brother and the whole family will go. So why can't you send one person to Paris to cover the Paralympic Games? You mean to say large media houses don't have this kind of money? Of course they do. Of course they do. It is about what you believe in. Do you believe in this or do you want to send somebody to Zimbabwe where the top 25 cricketers of India did not travel?
I mean, I remember I had gone for that PCI send off, and I was in line waiting to get an interview with Avni Lekhra, and 2-3 people were already doing it, and she was already very late to. She was headed somewhere, and she was very late, and people were waiting for her. And then this one guy, she was requesting everyone, please just let me go, please just let me go. And this one guy just jumped in and started taking the interview, and she was very hesitant because she just wanted to leave. And the first question he asks is, you won a gold medal. You won a gold medal, right? And I was like, that's one Google away. You forced her to do this interview and you got the first. I mean, how do you ask something like this? Why are you asking her if she won a gold medal?
This is a problem with us. I don't think it is his problem. It is our problem. We as the media, all of us have to blame here. All of us have to blame. I mean, in Paris, one of our media colleagues asked PV Sindhu the moment she came out, so you will win gold in LA. PV Sindhu was stunned. Somebody asked Laksha Sen, I don't want to name anyone, somebody asked Laksha Sen, so what did Victor Axel Sen do better than you? And he said, played badminton. Come on, boss. I mean, what are we doing to ourselves? If I go and ask, I mean, honestly, if I go and ask anyone, 84 athletes, and I start telling the names, I bet my bottom dollar people will not even be able to identify 10 of them. Forget 84. Forget 84. Rohan was the only Indian media in the Asian Para Games. Only Indian media. Bizarre. You won 111 medals. You had one Indian media. Why? Tokyo, and I think somebody commented that because of us and some other YouTube channel. Boss, this is a fact because the moment someone like us starts sending 5 guys, 5 people, 6 people, you start putting pressure because we'll start shouting, and there's someone like me who will start shouting, saying, "Come on, come on, come on, come on!" Automatically, and I honestly believe this will have a spiraling effect because this is not something, and this is only possible because this platform is our own. So today, Gargi comes and tells me, I want to cover racing. Go cover. I want to do a MotoGP. Go do it. So this is an opportunity for all of us to break new ground. Of course, we will do cricket. And I'm telling you from now, we will do cricket better than anybody else. Because in Australia series, I want to see how much money and how much resources the other put in. We will put in more than that. Chalo. I want to see how much money and other resources others put in England series next year. We will put in more than that. So it's not as if we will put less money and less resources into cricket. It is about multi-sport, holistic coverage for India to grow as a sporting society.
And Muriela, the
Absolutely.
same channels or same platforms, just they will they they will
2-2,
try and
2-2.
oh my
Durant
goodness.
quarterfinal 2-2, Mohun Bagan.
Uh,
Devashish, get tens, 2-2.
Tutu, todo.
Okay, so finally, before we
The
end this
point
show, let's talk
I was
about.
just trying to highlight here is that means when the same media who have not traveled to Paris for the Paralympic Games will be trying to get in touch with the athletes who have won a medal. So
हाँ,
here in
Obviously.
here we will just be way miles ahead because we have a team of five correspondents there in Paris who will be get a first-hand interview and interactions the moment they win a medal, and that itself will separate us from the other platforms. That is what differentiate us from the others.
अरे वन सिंपल थिंग सुमित अंटिल पीपल विल से वो तो जैवलिन फेंकता है भाई जैवलिन कौन सा फेंकता है कौन सा क्लासिफिकेशन में फेंकता है ये तो बता if you want to understand parasport and you don't even know the classification of Sumit Until,
yeah.
what is the difference between Sumit Until and someone else who is also throwing the javelin? What is F46 and F60? Come on, tell me that. Unless you know the difference in classification, वो तो javelin फेंकता है. मतलब योगेश काठुनिया F34 में वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड था, F46 डिस्कस में जाके सिल्वर था. पहले क्लासिफिकेशन समझो भाई. पहले डिफरेंशिएशन समझो उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम आता है वो तो समझो बिकॉज फिजिकल डिसेबिलिटी के बेसिस में कैटेगराइजेशन होता है क्लासिफिकेशन होता है पहले वो क्लासिफिकेशन समझो फिर तो पैरास्पोर्ट कवर करोगे फोन करके आप पूछोगे अरे गोल्ड मेडल मिल गया मतलब क्या so this is where India needs to really get better and our crusade won't stop whether anybody else sends or not how do we care we will push the bar keep pushing the bar and the moment the gold medal comes the moment the prime minister calls you will see all these media houses jumping up the gun to get that interview and get that reaction from these athletes I bet my bottom dollar and that is when the fun will start because that's when these people will become relevant not before once they start winning medals, they become properties, they become stories, they become headlines. And you will want every 9 o'clock editor will say, come on, get me those athletes from Paris. He has to be or she has to be live on my show. That is when the whole drama will start.
Absolutely.
Gargi is
Yeah,
frozen, no, Gargi?
absolutely. No, no, it. I was trying the shortcut to unmute myself, but it was not happening.
अरे
Okay.
Gargi and her shortcuts are dangerous. Rohan is aware of that.
Well, happens to the best of us. But what I was asking was finally, before we end the show, let's talk about the India versus England series, the schedule that has been announced now. The start of the new. Yes, Rohan.
अरे पहले अनवालिटी अपडेट दी थी ना की होती
I did a show on Anwar, bhai. I did a full
Alert
show
show.
on
Yeah.
Anwar. You did not watch. Okay, the update is the
अरे আমি
four
তখন
parties made their
डिलीट ছিল
representations yesterday. Mohan Bagan went and read out their submission and also read out the clause 3.4, which is the 50-50 payment if there is a fine between East Bengal and Anwar Ali. So Mohan Bagan read out that and said, why will Delhi FC also not be a party to this and pay? That was Mohan Bagan's submission in a nutshell.
ठीक
East
ठीक
Bengal submission was we signed Anwar basis PSC clearance, so we have acted in good faith. We have not violated any rule, so we have acted in good faith. And we have also signed Anwar only after Delhi FC confirmed to us that he is a free player. That was East Bengal's contention in front of PSC. Delhi FC's contention was the new club. If anybody has induced it, if anybody has made a mistake, it is Delhi FC. So if there is any compensation or fine, sorry, East Bengal, if there is any compensation or fine or any club that has to get a transfer ban, it has to be East Bengal because they are the ones who are the new club, not we. So we should not be penalized. That was Delhi FC's contention. And Anwar's contention, he was represented by some leading lawyers from CAS also, who have practiced in CAS rather. And Anwar's contention was whatever I have done, and Delhi FC also had some international lawyers. Anwar's contention was whatever I have done in accordance with the FIFA rule. So I have
बस
not violated any rule. How can you call this unjust or illegal termination? So this is basically the summary in 3 minutes. Uh, The verdict is not coming today. We broke that. The verdict will come.
Yeah.
Basically, the thing that I'm getting from the PSC is that they will announce all of the verdicts together. So not simply Anwar. They will say on Anwar, on compensation, on East Bengal, on Mohun Bagan, on Delhi FC. So that is why they are taking time and they will announce the verdicts together. It is not coming today. It will possibly come early next week. We still don't have a date. So that is basically the summary of Anwar.
Best.
Got it. Kishu Patel has answered. F4 fielding sports has and as number is low, that much difficult for Paralympic.
Yeah.
Is
True,
yeah.
true. I mean, but again, uh, I shouldn't say this on air, but I'm saying it. Tell me something. Will classical music ever have the same kind of numbers? If you go and watch porn, we'll have much more numbers. It is not about numbers. If you actually think, look, if you today start talking about any random thing in the country, political debates where it is easy to get two politicians to sit and start shouting at each other at 9 p.m., you will get numbers. But if you start talking about Paralympics, people will say, kya bol raha? You know why? Because there is no culture. People don't know. But the moment an Avani Lekhara wins gold or a Sumit Antil wins gold, you will see immediate jump in numbers because that's when the curiosity will start. भाई ये है कौन? ये
Yes.
गन चलाती है, बाप रे! ये चेयर व्हील चेयर में बैठ के गन चलाती है, ये कैसे हो सकता है? ये तो बलून भी फोड़ सकती है. So that kind of nonsense will come, but there will be interest. So I think the start has to be made. I mean, who am I to say this? I didn't go to Tokyo. I also came back, and that is when I understood this. I went to Rio, I came back. I went to Tokyo, I came back after the Olympic Games. I didn't stay back. I didn't have my own company then to be able to do it. But the realization is the Indian media goes for the Olympic Games and comes back. They don't stay for the Paralympic Games. Why? Because it's less important. Who said so? And you know what the Paralympic Games is all about? What is para? Tell me. All of you guys are good colleagues, friends of mine, senior colleagues of mine. And what is para? The connotation of para is not disability. Para is parallel.
Yeah.
Where did
Beside.
the Paralympic Games start? 1960, Stoke Mandeville Games. Then in 1989, when it became the Paralympic Committee of the, I mean, PC, whatever, the Paralympic Committee, International Paralympic Committee, para here is parallel to the Olympic Games. So it's equal games. Olympics, Paralympics, parallel. Not games for people with disability. That is the first point that one has to keep in mind. When you see someone like a Sheetal Devi shoot and get a tenor, boss, come on, boss. I mean, I get goosebumps seeing a Sheetal Devi shoot. Unbelievable. When I see a Sumit Antil run like a Neeraj and throw 75 meters, boss, 75 meters javelin. Oh, if he does that, it's a world record. Unbelievable.
Yes.
So even if you don't watch Rev Sports, I don't care. Kindly watch the Paralympic Games. You will learn. You will become a better individual. You will become a better human being. So watch the Paralympic Games for stories of resilience. And finally, 15% of the world are people with disability. 15%. This is about inclusivity.
Absolutely. And finally, Debashish, let's start with you. India versus England starts in June 2025. What are your thoughts? New cycle of WTC begins.
Yeah, I've been told that you're also excited of traveling
Australia.
to Australia. And,
Yes, of course I am. Who wouldn't be?
but coming to England, obviously it will be a tough series. Means obviously India has last won a series in England in way back in 2007. I covered that series, obviously in Nottingham, Trent Bridge, where they won. But then, obviously India's best chance of winning a series in England was the last time they traveled to England. Means obviously 2021, 22. Means they could have easily won that series had that COVID not disrupted the series midway, and then we lost that one-off test in Birmingham. But then, yes, it will be a evenly contested series because England at their own backyard will be very tough. And given that India starts the series in Leeds, where they were bowled out for 78 runs in 40 overs, if you remember, means obviously. So that will be in the mind, and they will be without the likes of Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara, who have been phenomenal in Test series in the last decade. Means, each and every series, particularly Ajinkya Rahane, having scored, and we all speak of that 100 he scored in Lords. So yes, it will be an evenly contested series, but then when you talk about the England series, we have to mention about the 2018 series where Virat it was easily the series of Virat Kohli. Yes, eventually India lost that series, test series, but so we need some kind of an inspiration from a Rohit Sharma or a Virat Kohli or a Jasprit Bumrah, brilliant, a moment of brilliance. To call, yes, we won a series, we won back-to-back series in Australia. So why not hope for the best? Let's see. Means obviously, but the big one is that the first series was
Australia.
first series down under.
Okay, and a lot of people asking about KL Rahul. That people took that post way out of context. He's not retiring. He's not retiring at the. He's very young. Come on, how can he retire? And also, everyone got the idea based off of a post. So I think that's even more ridiculous. But any closing comments, Rohan, Boria?
I'm looking
Paralympics.
forward to catching up with Rohan tomorrow night.
Yes.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Really hoping it will be a great campaign for the Indian contingent, but for now, really waiting for Goriada and Ramitaji to come because not much action right now. Waiting for the action to start. Hoping to give you a good coverage of the Paralympics and bring some good stories from here in Paris.
Yes. Okay.
By the way,
So
Mohan Bagan losing 3-2. So East Bengal out, Mohan Bagan out, possibly. Dimi Petratos has just been introduced. So let's see what happens.
Can you believe it?
Devashish, come on.
3 team with that team they have.
আরে সবাই এখন ওয়ার্ম আপ করছে আইএসএল এর জন্য দেখো আইএসএল ভালো খেলবে
Yeah, obviously, but
okay.
3-2 down at the moment. 75 minutes, Gargi. So 15 minutes to go, plus 5 minutes or 6 minutes of added time.
Okay. On that note, we'll take your leave. Thank you so much, Devashish, Boria, and Rohan for joining. We're looking forward to the Paralympics coverage. See you soon in Paris. Thank you. And everyone.